Junk food supper.
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 Junk food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
All right, welcome
Junk
to
Food
Junk
Supper.
Food Supper, episode number 58. This is the podcast where every week Parker Bowman and I search the internet for movies, and, we search the other places for movies, cable television perhaps, all of the places that would have a movie. We're searching them, and we're looking for the weirdest and wildest, and then we're reviewing them here on the show, because that's what we do. That's what we've always done. That's been our format for just about ever. I am Sean Byron, joined, as I had mentioned before, by Perky Beantown Bowman up there in the 559. What's going on, Mr. Bowman?
I'm having a great week. This may be the best week of all time. I'm just very happy. Happy as a clam over here.
What's so great about this week in particular that's made you clamishly happy?
I would like to tell you, God has answered all of my prayers.
Okay, all right.
I've been praying to Jesus every night. I pray to Jesus every night since about 1993.
For a third film in the Dream a Little Dream franchise? Please tell me it's not true.
I pray for that as well. That's weekly, though. I don't pray for that as often. But I've been praying that Dream On, the HBO TV show, starring Brian
it is
Dennehy.
dream related.
It is. That's weird.
Okay, all right.
That's really weird. I've been hoping and praying for that show to come to streaming, and it finally has for the first time ever. It's streaming currently. It just started streaming on the Roku channel.
You telling me I can dream on stream now?
You can dream on stream.
Yeah, call Neil Breen.
Yeah. This is very exciting. I love this show. It's pretty much been lost media for decades. Like, they put out the first 2 seasons on DVD, and then that was it, and HBO doesn't put it out, and pretty much lost media. Sadly, a lot of stuff from that era seems like it's lost media. A lot of stuff from the 90s, but hopefully, while it's streaming, cool archivists will digitize it and put it on some sort of stealing website so it can have a shelf life, be out there, be alive.
Yeah, I mean, if we've got this now, I can only imagine that Nightstand with Dick Dietrich is, going to be next to fulfill your 90s dreams.
That is 100% another show from the 90s that is lost media that needs to get some life. But yeah, this is exciting. Were you a Dream On fan? I'm very excited about this, like legitimately. I loved this show growing up.
Well, my level of excitement is going to be determined by whether or not they were able to maintain those cutaways to like film clips from the past where they're making references that I, as an 11-year-old kid, didn't quite get.
Yeah, that is a good point. I was reading, like, the story I read about it. It was on like some pop culture news website. It was like pretty vague. Like, they're like, because I feel like the thing that's holding it up is those clips, like, because you would have to pay to use all those clips. So I feel like they could have put it out at any time without them. But then at that point, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And
I think it's the Muppet Babies curse.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing is that, like, it aired on HBO, so it had like cussing and titties and stuff like that. But then they also did an edited version that they put on like Comedy Central or something. So I'm also worried that maybe it's the edited version. So I haven't watched any of the episodes yet because I just found this out today. But I'm worried for both of those things.
I've got a lot of concerns. I mean, I feel like Seinfeld has now been streaming in the incorrect aspect ratio for a decade or so. At a certain point, audiences are only going to know of Seinfeld as a show that was clumsily shot in widescreen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In addition to that, Seinfeld, when it airs on like TBS or something, it's also sped up a little so that they can pack in one extra commercial during the runtime.
That's insane. So, that should be a crime, right?
I mean, it's pretty wild. I mean, like, you couldn't necessarily tell if you're watching it. I didn't really notice it until like someone posted like a split screen of it on Twitter or something. But once you notice it, it's hard to not notice it.
Well, it's not like, comedy is at all based on timing, right?
It's really the most important part.
Jesus Christ. Next up, I guess they're going to do a decolorized version of Seinfeld, right? Is that the only frontier left?
Pretty much.
Or maybe de-aged, Let's de-age the cast.
That actually, yeah.
Speaking of Muppet Babies curse, let's do Seinfeld babies, you know?
That doesn't seem too far off. Like, I feel like that could happen where it's like they de-age and colorize like the Honeymooners or something to get Gen Z to watch it, or like a show like that or something, like to just completely alter an old TV show to make it palatable for young people.
Yeah, the cast of Taxi is now all handsome tweens.
Yeah, I feel like that's coming.
Poor Judd Hirsch is never going to see the light of day again, you know, with this technology.
Poor guy.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That can't be the only thing that's lighting up your week, though. And to answer your question, yes, I'm very excited, as you can tell. I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon. Can't believe it.
I don't know why you have to be sarcastic. Why you have to...
I mean, I'm excited for you.
Oh, all right. I appreciate that.
I just got so much stuff to stream, man. It's overwhelming sometimes.
It is. It seems like there's a ton of stuff suddenly. Like, there's like 3 or 4 shows that just dropped like this month that I have to watch after months of just watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reruns.
Yeah, you know, I signed up for Netflix to check out that Dump Matsumoto show, which I finished. Is very good. I recommend people check it out. It's pretty incredible that the thing even got made. And, you know, I also watched that Vince documentary. But in between the two, I was just kind of thumbing through Netflix. There's like, I want to say like 10 different wrestling-specific shows on Netflix. Mm-hmm. You know, there's like one set in the world of Lucha Libre. There's one that's set in the world of like indie wrestling that's like a weird drama. There's one that's like a weird docu-series. It's just all these like strangely up all of a sudden, like all these wrestling shows. Probably they're mostly garbage, but yeah, it does feel like all of a sudden there's all this stuff coming out. Yeah,
I've heard good things about that drama one is called Heels.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about that. And the documentary one, I think, is a documentary about Ohio Valley Wrestling. The where Al Snow is like the promoter and trainer, I think.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, and so that's probably good if it's Ohio centric.
Did you have a chance to check out that Vince doc?
No, not yet. I want to though.
Well, I think Kevin did check it out, and he's got a 1-sentence review for you.
Kind of a weird fetish.
Yeah, sadly.
To put it mildly.
Sadly, that's what it's mostly revealed. It's all right. I wouldn't get your hopes up for it, for the doc.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of people post like screen caps and stuff like, oh my God, and this Vince says this. And it's like something that like has been like common knowledge for 6 years or something, you know? And it's like, okay, like,
yeah,
we know this already.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of like, can you believe that Vince McMahon was feuding with his own family on television? Like right out there in the open. Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah. Well, I'll still watch it. I'll still check it out.
Yeah, you should. It's out there, and it's, you know, it's a decent time killer.
Yeah. One thing that I won't be watching on streaming this month is my man Young Charles. They canceled the Young Charles TV show.
Oh no, what happened? He's too old now?
He's too old to be Young Charles. I don't know. I suspect that it was probably kind of an expensive TV show with all the technical muppetry, and so NBC or whoever makes it probably just wants to focus on shitty reality TV shows and singing shows and stuff like that. So no more Young Charles.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, we had a good run though, you know? 3 seasons of the goriest fucking slasher TV show you could ever hope for in your entire life. That's more than I could have ever dreamed of.
Now, did they ever have a chance to introduce John Waters into the TV universe for Young Charles, or no?
Indeed they did. Yeah, he shows up in season 3.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, then I feel like mission accomplished, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he plays a different character than his movie character, which is fun.
Well, that's cool.
I mean, clearly, because that character died, I guess, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun show. So R.I.P. to Young Charles.
I think it's a fair trade. Dream on for Young Charles. You know, that's how life goes sometimes. You got to make those trades.
Yeah. Every time God closes a young Charles, he opens a dream on. But what have you been up to? You get into any fun adventures or anything?
A few fun adventures, I guess you would call them, primarily. And speaking of getting old, this is how I know that I'm getting old, is that today I'm still feeling my lunch from yesterday, which was, for the record, it was a full bag of Munchos.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be a fine lunch yesterday. Tasted fine on the way in, but I don't know, I guess my system is not as rock solid as it used to be. I'm feeling these Munchos over here, man.
What happened? These Munchos are giving you some indigestion?
I guess you could call it that. We all know the classic, case of the rumblies. Maybe you had some Taco Bell or something where maybe it's too greasy or too spicy or something, and that's causing issues. I think what's going on with these Munchos is, well, you know that they make them out of dehydrated potatoes. That's the big difference with a Muncho. I think they're dehydrating my belly right now. I think my guts are getting dehydrated in a way it's not good for me.
That very well could be, yeah. I think the science is sound there.
Yeah. I think I should have at least mixed in a few regular potato chips to kind of up the water ratio or whatever, the moisture content.
I think you got to just mix in like slices of raw potato because those have a lot of water content in them.
We're having a serious conversation here, Bowman, and you're throwing in slices of raw potato. I'm trying to really fix this problem I have where I can't eat a full bag of Munchos for lunch and expect to feel 100% fine the next day.
I thought I was giving you some real medical advice. I don't know. My mistake.
Yeah, like I got potatoes on hand. What do you think I am? Some kind of gourmand over here?
I thought you were Irish.
Fair. It's fair. Touche.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to start carrying around a bottle of Tums with you,
Yeah,
that'll fix all your ailments.
I think so. Or just stop listening to my body. You know what I mean? Like if I can turn off those signals, who cares what my stomach thinks as long as my brain can't hear about it?
That's also true. You know what else might actually help your situation? Is eating maybe like a couple of bites of broccoli from now and then, Like just a vegetable. You might want to try a vegetable.
We're going to move on to some other subject. It's clear to me that you can't take this seriously. And that's fine. Some people can't talk about dietary matters with any level of seriousness.
Yeah. Well, I was serious about the carrying around potatoes with you, but not serious about the vegetables. You don't want that.
Yeah, sure.
No one needs that.
Other than that, just watching postseason baseball. It's postseason time. Are you excited?
Man, I feel like I've been thinking about baseball a little bit lately. Like, obviously Pete Rose died, and that's like big for anybody who's from Ohio. And then like all this talk about like Oakland at their last games last week, and I read some of the news stories about that, and I was a big Oakland fan as a kid. So I've been kind of thinking about baseball. I don't know. I feel like maybe and of course Ohtani is making everybody think about baseball because he's the greatest of all time. So I don't know. I feel like maybe next season I might watch a couple games. I might see if I like baseball. How's it been going for you? Is it an exciting postseason?
Well, why wait until next season? You could tune in right now. The postseason just started yesterday, so we're in the wild card series right now. So all the teams are still there.
That's actually a good point. I guess I like to start things from the beginning, but I guess if you are going to watch, you should watch the playoffs. Like that's like the best parts. Like
it's the beginning of the postseason.
Who's in there? Who's playing?
You got all the teams, man. You got the Phillies. Yeah, every team. It's this unusual postseason where they chose not to eliminate anyone.
Are you being serious? Is that a thing now?
No, I'm not being serious. This is like suggesting broccoli in a diet.
I don't know the rules. I didn't know if it was like, everybody gets participation trophies and you get.
No, but there are a lot more teams than there used to be because it's like, what is it? It's like the top 2 teams in every division now versus one. But yeah, it's a bunch of teams. You got the Mets, you got the Phillies. I think the Astros might have just gotten knocked out today. I'm not sure.
On the first day?
Second day. It's because the wildcard series is a 3-game series.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
But you got your Guardians in there if you want to root for an Ohio team.
If I rooted for the Guardians, I think Kevin would beat me up. I think if I'm going for Ohio, I got to go with the Reds.
You got the Kansas City Royals. That's an unusual postseason berth for them.
Yeah.
You got the Orioles. They got that cute little bird on their costumes.
I do like them. As a kid, I was a fan of Cal Ripken. He was playing with the Orioles.
Oh, yeah,
so
man.
That might be the team.
Oh, yeah, dude. Cal Ripken. Yeah, so there you go. You're an Orioles fan now.
Well, I'll take a look at who's playing. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
the Oakland Athletics
Yankees.
are not in.
No, A's are not even allowed in baseball anymore.
I think that's probably true.
I think they've canceled their plans to play in Sacramento next year. They're just going to forfeit the season, I believe.
That might be for the best. I don't know. I guess the Dodgers are my home team, but that would feel like cheating to be a Dodger fan. Right? There's no other teams. No, yeah, there's no other team. Yeah, that would geographically be the closest to me.
You think so? More so than SF?
Yeah. That's farther. San Francisco's like a 4.5 hour drive. LA's 3.5.
Okay.
But I guess if you include traffic, LA's probably a lot farther.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, root for the Dodgers. I got no objection.
Okay.
I'm not going to rock you out of the clubhouse.
Who are you rooting for? Who's your team?
Well, I mean, Dodgers, I guess, first, but I'm also a Mets supporter, so either of those two would be good for me.
Okay. I'll figure it out. The next time we record, next week, I'll tell you who my team is.
Yeah. Pick a team. Get real into it. I want to see you at some of these postseason games. Sans shirt, painted, body painted in the color of whatever squad,
Okay. I might do that.
Yeah, root for the Dodgers. Be Blue Boy out there in the outfield. Everybody's going to love Blue Boy.
All right. I could do that.
Just don't try and run on the field because they take that real seriously these days.
I don't try to run anywhere.
Have you seen that lately? The footage of what happens when you run on a baseball field now?
Well, I saw one video of a guy who tried to run onto the field, but he tripped as soon as he got on the field, and the security guards got him before he even made it past that warning strip in the outfield.
Yeah,
which was pretty funny.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, that's a terrible run. But I don't know. Are they beating people up? What are they doing?
Oh man, it's getting real violent out there. I mean, I feel like back in the day, you used to be able to run around the bases as much as you want, and especially if you were naked. I feel like everybody involved was like, look, this guy went to the commitment of stripping off all his clothes. Let's let him, run around and shake his little ding-a-ling out there in the infield. It's not even a problem. We'll give him the right of way. We're not going to block the base paths. These days, yeah, like you said, you don't even get off the warning track, and they've got you hog-tied, and they're clubbing you in the head.
Yeah. That's a shame, I like the purity of the game where you're allowed to run around with your ding-a-ling on the field.
Yeah, I think that's what this great nation was. That's one of the principles we were founded on, right?
Yeah, smaller bases, smaller ding-a-lings on the field.
Yeah, well, it's not the size of the ding-a-ling; it's the shakeability.
True. Yeah. So a guy with long balls could also run on the field.
And if you got a fat hog, you want to shake it, that's fine too. I'm just making an assumption about most streakers that I've seen personally,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hopefully I root for a team with a lot of streakers. I bet LA's probably got the most streakers, right? It's good weather.
Oh man, that is a stat that I think we need, StatCast to uncover is what stadium has seen the most streaking events. Or what team even, I guess. Yeah, if you want to track across multiple stadiums.
Yeah. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to see. That's going to be my team.
I would guess, I don't know, I think maybe the Giants. They're pretty loose up there, right?
That's true, yeah. They're free with the human body up there.
I feel like it was at one point just a American rite of passage to, drop acid in the bay and shake your ding-a-ling over by third base.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I would admit, yeah, they got to be the team. I mean, it's a little cold up there, but outside of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that makes it funnier, though. I mean, if you're running, And you got shrinkage. That makes streaking funnier.
Yeah, and the inherent irony of doing it for a team called the Giants.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. If they're not winning with the most streakers, they at least have the funniest streakers.
Good on them. I'm proud of you boys up there.
Yeah. All right. It's settled. We're going to be baseball fans together.
Just don't overload on the munchos during the game. I know how you do. I know that you love those munchos.
I got a pocket full of potatoes, so I'll be okay.
What else has been going on? So you were out a whole week. You missed the appearance of Mike Dick after many years. He emerged from the shadows to regale us with tales of wrestling and 7 inches. You missed Rowdy Roddy Piper's brief appearance in a movie that we otherwise hated. You missed all kinds of stuff.
It seems that I did. Yeah, I missed by September, which I'm sad about. But, I went on a crazy adventure. My dad came in. Firstly, my dad and his sort of wife came in from Ohio. And they had a fun time. They went to LA for a couple of days, and then they came up here to visit me. And I had no luck getting them Jimmy Kimmel tickets, which I'm sad about for them. But they went to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery and tootled around there when they were in LA, doing like all that touristy stuff, doing like they did like the bus rides where you go around to famous people's houses and stuff.
Oh, yeah. The celebrity homes type tours. That's cool.
Yeah. So they liked that a lot. They went by Quentin Tarantino's house. I didn't have the heart to tell my dad that Quentin Tarantino now lives in Israel, where he is cheering on the murder of Palestinian people.
Did they see the pussy wagon when they drove by?
I don't think so. No, he would have mentioned that. Is it there?
Yeah.
Does he?
Then it was not his house. Then whatever bus driver is just pawning off random people's houses as Tarantino's.
That would be lucrative to just trick people.
I can't guarantee that it's always parked outside in the front, but he does own it and he does drive it around town.
That is that's pretty cool. Like to swindle a movie studio into buying you your fucking ideal pussy wagon car and just keep it and drive it around. Like that's pretty cool.
And to have a baked in excuse of like, look, I'm not the creep, this is a pre-existing prop, it's not my idea. It was the character's idea. I don't like to say the N-word, just all of my characters do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a foolproof plan. So yeah, they did that, and then they came back up, and we went to Yosemite up here in the mountains. Before going to Yosemite, we went and kind of tootled around. I got us a cabin Airbnb up in the mountains, and we went through all these cool old timey gold rush towns that kind of didn't even realize existed. But all these towns that still look like the Old West,
yeah, like Westworld style.
Yeah, like Westworld style. All these we went to a town called Jamestown and a town.
Oh, your favorite Twin Peaks character.
Yep, there's
Jamestown
a statue.
Has always been cool.
Yeah, there's a statue of him. A town called Twain Harte, and some other town with the oldest saloon in California. Yeah, it's just super old timey, places built in the 1850s, which is ancient in California time. California European settler time, anyway. And it was super cool.
No encounters with malfunctioning androids, though.
No, nothing like that. Sadly, because we did go to Twain Harte, which is a town named after Mark Twain, and I was hoping for a robot Mark Twain, but they didn't have that.
Damn. Oh. Well.
Yeah, so really cute towns up there. I kind of want to go there and just stay at a hotel and enjoy these cute little old timey towns at some point. It's not really much to do there, but they're cute and old timey.
Yeah.
And then we went to Yosemite. Have you been to Yosemite?
I've been to Yosemite. I've never stayed there, but I've driven through. Done the little day trip kind of a thing where you drive through. The one time that I went, it was insanely crowded.
Yeah.
And so that kind of like impeded our ability to do very much while we were there. But it was beautiful, like just really gorgeous.
Yeah, that it is. They now you have during the summer, like from like March until November, you now need a reservation to get into the park. Because it was so crowded for so long, which is kind of wild. But at the same time, like, yeah, I can't, like, it wasn't very packed when we were there. We went on like a Thursday afternoon. But yeah, I can't imagine if there's like bumper to bumper traffic and like shoulder to shoulder people, like it would probably be a horrible experience, but there weren't many people there. So I had a fun time. I thought it was very, very cozy up there.
You do some hiking up there, or what was on the agenda?
We didn't really do any hiking. My dad's girlfriend has like a bum knee, so we got like the tram that goes around like the valley floor and like drives you around. It's like a 2-hour drive, and they like because like the way it's set up is like when you get to the valley there's like a loop where if you walk or hike or drive the loop, you can see like all the big points. You see like the Half Dome, and you see all the waterfalls and the El Capitan and like all this stuff. Like it's pretty magnificent the way that nature made this tourist spot like pretty easy to see everything like in a 10-mile radius or whatever. So we did that. It was pretty cool. It was kind of a hot day, which kind of sucked, but yeah, it was like pretty magnificent. I kind of like the Sequoia Park better. I like the big trees.
Yeah, Sequoia's got that kind of like shady, kind of hidden feeling where you really feel like you're nestled into the hills, you know?
Yeah, it really feels like mountains. It's a lot cooler. I think it's probably higher up. That's where they filmed all the Endor stuff in Jedi, so that's cool. Yeah, I kind of like I kind of like the Sequoia Park better, but yeah, Yosemite's very, very cute. If you're a big fan of like mountains and beauty and nature, I think you'd probably like it.
Yeah, if you like domes, but you feel like a full dome is a little bit too much for you, check out that Half Dome at Yosemite.
Exactly. So we did that, and then I dropped those guys back off, and then right after that, me and the wife went to Joshua Tree to get like all the biomes,
all
the geography of California in.
You're telling me
weekend.
You did 2 national parks in a week?
2 national parks in a week, yeah.
God damn.
I know. And sadly, like Jennifer has like this little passport. It's like this little touristy thing you can buy at like national parks where you take this little cute passport to all the national parks, and then like one of the rangers will stamp it saying that you've been there, sort of like a passport, but like for the parks. And she forgot her passport, so she didn't even get Yosemite stamped. Can you believe it?
God damn. Well, could she at least get a piece of paper stamped and transfer it later? Staple it in there? Anything?
That's a really good idea. We should have done that.
Oh, man. Now it's too late.
Yeah, no. So we'll have to go back there at some point. But yeah, we went to Joshua Tree as well, which that's much more my speed. I like the desert. Of all the biomes we've got here, your mountains and your forests and your beaches and stuff, your valleys, I like the desert. So
you're something of a lizard man.
I'm a lizard man. Yeah. And yeah, we did like a lot of thrifting and kind of goofy stuff in 29 Palms, which is like kind of like this little hippie arty sort of community.
You were thrifting out on that main drag there, whatever that main drag is.
Yeah, I don't know the name of that street, but yeah, it's like one big street that kind of like loops around from like Amboy through Joshua Tree and 29 Palms, and
they got the big Muffler Man statue there, right?
Yeah,
just out by that place. That place is cool. I like that place.
That place is wonderful. I think Kevin would like that place a lot because every single thing that I saw there to buy is like something that I know Kevin likes. Like they had like a wall full of like old trading cards with like yucky artwork, like
yeah.
And like they had a bunch of like those like African movie posters, like those silly ones that are like weird.
Yeah, the Ghanese posters.
Yeah, those. They had a bunch of those. I got
That
the
guy's
Nightmare.
got really good taste. He's also got like a bunch of cool like neon signs in the back and stuff like that he's like saved from various buildings.
Yeah, I think the guy who owns it, like, yeah, just really curates like really fun stuff to sell there. Yeah, I got the Nightmare on Elm Street poster in the weird African style.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah.
Oh boy, nice.
It's not, yeah, I'm excited about that. It was a real toss up. Like, they had a couple I really wanted. They had that one, Showgirls and Blue Velvet, I thought about getting because of how I'm the biggest David Lynch fan.
Let's get those pickled icemen on the blower.
I definitely would have gotten Twin Peaks, but they didn't have a Twin Peaks one, sadly. But yeah, I got the Nightmare one. I'm very excited because that art is just the funnest.
What's going on with Frederick Krueger on this poster? Does he have like 6 fingers or?
Yeah, well, he doesn't have 6 fingers, but there's like a Nightmare Feddy from like, that's like kind of modeled after Freddy versus Jason, but like he's holding up a head of a character that looks like nobody that's ever been in a Freddy versus or Freddy or Jason movie. And then there's another one where he's like, I think he's killing like, what's his face? Joey from part 4 in like the waterbed, but like he's making out with him, like their tongues are touching. It's very erotic. And like
RoboCop is there for some reason.
Yeah, RoboCop's there. There's like just a forearm, like a severed forearm in the middle as like the centerpiece for some reason. It's pretty good. I'll take a picture of it. I'll post it. I just bought a frame for it, so I'll post that.
Yeah. You gotta frame that bootleg Nightmare Feddy poster, you know? That can't just be pinned up to the wall.
Yeah, got to get a frame for that one, for real art. And then we went to Pappy and Harriet's out at Pioneer Town. Have you been to Pioneer Town?
No, I have not. I've heard many a tale, you know, and I know that's the place to see, you know, Roger Klein, Peacemakers, Jenny Lewis's, all of these artists, and maybe many more. I don't know. I think those are the only ones that I've heard of playing there, but no, never been.
It's a fun place. The Pappy and Harriet's venue is like really cool, but there's also like Pioneer Town's where they used to like film a lot of old West TV shows and movies and stuff back in the day, and now it's just sort of a tourist spot, but it's like the old West Town is still there. So it's like fun to see. They have a little museum dedicated to like all the movies and TV shows that were shot there, which is a cute little fun thing. They have a goat that wears a hat who is the mayor of Pioneer Town.
Oh, that's who that homeboy was. I saw that photo of that goat looking all fancy with his human clothing, and I'm like, who is this guy? He
is the mayor. He's been the mayor, I think this is his 2nd term, and he's running for re-election.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's a town down here called Idlewild that's like up in the mountains, and they had for many years, I think, a dog, somebody's pet dog, as their mayor. I believe he might not have survived the pandemic, sadly.
Oh, no, that is sad. But yeah, it's charming when towns have weird things for the mayor.
Yeah. The goat was cool, though? You like the cut of this guy's jib? You think he's good for the town, policy-wise and otherwise?
I think so. I love him. He did a thing where, like, the guy who, like, you know, handles him, I think his name is Sam. I think the mayor's name is Sam. The guy who handles Sam, he gave my wife like a little like carrot or something to put in her mouth, and Sam the mayor took it from her by kissing her, which is just one of the cutest things a mayor could do, I think.
I've heard of mayors kissing babies, but kissing Bowmans? This is entirely new ground.
So yeah, so he knows a lot of things to do. He wears a hat, like I said. He's just absolutely amazing. I'm going to keep voting for him.
I didn't know he was in your jurisdiction, that you could vote for him.
Well, I feel like I voted for him because I bought a sticker for him. And they said all proceeds from the stickers go towards his re-election campaign. So
are you admitting to election fraud right here on the show?
I gotta call my
newfangled era of Apple transcriptions. You don't think you're going to get busted for this, Bowman?
I'm going to call my lawyer. I gotta go.
You better.
Life is full of ups and downs, and we all make mistakes. If you've made a mistake that is leading you into the courtroom, then you owe it to yourself to have proper legal representation. Hi, I'm John Mays. My job is to provide professional legal services. Many laws of our federal, state, and city governments are difficult to understand. I will explain in plain English just how these laws relate to your situation, determine the appropriate action, and defend you every step of the way. Remember, you're innocent until proven guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty.
But yeah, he was great. That place was fun. I also found a really cool Tex Avery statue at a thrift store that I think you should go back and get. I think you would like it.
Like life size?
It wasn't life size. It was pretty big. I
Now,
posted it.
you're not doing a
Discord.
Frankenstein's monster thing here. When you say Tex Avery statue, you mean a statue of Tex Avery, right? Not of like Droopy Dog or something?
No, it was Droopy Dog and like that horny ass wolf and like a sexy lady.
You did do a Dr. Frankenstein to me.
Yeah. Well, it says Tex Avery real big on the base of the statue.
Yeah, well, they write a lot of things on the base of statues these days.
Well, that's true. But yeah, I considered buying that, but I was like, this is more of a Sean thing. I'll leave it here for him to discover one day. But I almost spent all the money I have on a velvet painting of the Invisible Man. But then I didn't. I was responsible, and I regret it. I'll regret it every day of my life. Now,
They told you it was a velvet painting of the Invisible Man, but I'm pretty sure that was just a black velvet canvas.
I could have been tricked. I'm a sucker. I'm one of these sucker-ass tourists who believes they're seeing the real Tarantino house.
That's cool, though. Anything else going on in the desert?
I mean, a lot of stuff. Like it's a cute little community out there.
Did you stay in the Airbnb type deal that you did last time, or?
A little bit different of a one. Like last time we stayed in like this rustic ass like homestead, like miles out in the middle of nowhere. And this time we stayed in town, but it was still like a cute little kind of cabin in town. So it was good. It was good. It's
a bit easier for the pizza guy to find.
Yeah, I I feel like that pizza guy is still very mad at me for making him drive.
You were too stressed to reorder from them again for fear of him remembering, oh, you were those motherfuckers at that other Airbnb.
Yeah. I feel bad about that. That guy had to drive for like an hour and 20 minutes on unpaved roads to give me my pizza. But
if he lives out there, he's probably just happy to see another human.
Yeah, that's true. Not a lot of people out there, but yeah, it was a fun trip. A lot of fun stuff happened. A lot of fun shopping. I got a new tattoo of a ghost for some reason.
And you failed to get a new tattoo of a goat.
I know. I should have got the mayor.
Yeah.
I fucking blew it. Maybe next time. Maybe that's what I'll do next time.
I'm just razzing you. I like that ghost tattoo. It's very adorable.
Well, thank you. I was very excited. We did like the thing where it's like the tattoo places do this thing where like you spin a wheel on a gumball machine and then whatever comes out has a drawing and you have to get that thing. It's like a random thing. For whatever reason, my wife's cousin roped us into doing this. And I really lucked out by getting this cute ghost. So
it's like a blind box for tattoos.
Yeah. It's like it's a thing that the kids do for some reason, or maybe they don't because the machine was full. But Amy, my wife's cousin, was like real hyped up. She really wanted to do it. Her reasoning was infectious, so we all did it.
Without thinking about it for more than the amount of time that it takes me to ask the question, if you were going to get a forearm tattoo of a Simpsons character, which one would it be?
I want to say Lenny.
Yeah, it was Patty or Selma.
Oh, that's who you would get, Patty or Selma?
That's the right answer, canonically.
I don't know. I mean, Lenny is great.
Lenny's cool. Carl's cool. So a lot of cool options.
Yeah.
That guy, Grimy Grimes, they called him. He was cool too.
He'd be good. Disco Stew, I think, would be a pretty good one.
No. He don't advertise.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Anyways.
Well. Yeah. Well, it was a fun trip.
Yeah, it looked fun. I'm glad that you had fun while we were having fun here on the show. It seems like fun was had all around.
You guys were having so much fun, you didn't even decide on Schlocktober movies, did you?
I know, and you've been razzing me all day about it.
I just can't believe it.
I confided in you privately a title that I've been considering, so that's something, right? I'm not yet prepared to announce it on air.
Yeah, nor am I. I picked something, but I might change it because it's not a real movie. It's like a TV special, so I don't want to announce anything either, but we've got concepts of a plan when it comes to Schlocktober.
I will say it's getting tricky. I mean, if you want to adhere strictly to Halloweenish vibes, obviously in the area of a movie that is actually Halloween based and takes place on Halloween, we've probably exhausted almost all of the good ones in that area. Mm-hmm. But even just kind of like Halloween adjacent, I feel like it's starting to get tricky to find good selections in that area. The show's been on the air for 1,000 years. You know what I mean?
That's true. You bring up a good point. I think we should replace Schlocktober with Ghoul Summer. I think that would be a good idea. There's a lot of untapped stuff there.
Ha!
No, not a good idea.
No. But it is true. I feel like that's an almost inexhaustible well. And maybe that might have to do a little bit with the amount of effort it takes to craft one of those movies versus a Halloween time classic, It
takes a lot of effort to throw up 75 times on the carcass of a squid or whatever.
Yeah. Not as much effort as it takes to watch it.
That's also true.
But yeah, no, I guess what you're saying, though, is Kevin Moss, if you're out there listening, send us your fucking pick, dude.
Yeah, what are you going to pick, Kevin? What's it going to be?
And then we'll announce to the listening public at large our big Schlocktober plans.
Yeah, I've got to update the list on Letterboxd.
Yeah, until then, we're just standing here by third base, twiddling our little bits in the wind.
Indeed so. Speaking of wieners and penises. This is the worst segue of all time. We got a voicemail from somebody with a penis.
Oh.
If you would like to hear such a thing.
Hell yeah.
Here it is. Here's the voicemail.
Hello, Brian and Bowman, and maybe Moss. This is Kevin in Oakland, and I just finished your review and commentary on Alien 3, and then your ranking. And why did you leave out Covenant and Prometheus? Question mark. So I'd like to give my top to bottom. Of course, it's Alien and Aliens, followed by Resurrection, followed by Romulus, then Prometheus, then 3, and Covenant at the bottom.
Oh.
Later, guys.
Thank you, Kevin, for the call. I think we left him out probably because Sean hasn't logged some of those on Letterboxd, would be my theory. And also they're not like real alien movies, they are and they aren't. But Prometheus and Covenant are definitely at the bottom for me. And Alien vs. Predator Requiem, that was the worst. But Ridley Scott sucks. So those are at the bottom.
Yeah, my recollection is that we didn't include those movies, all as part of a cunning ruse so that we could redo this segment again in the future.
Ooh.
And, have a way to kill time again on the show. It's not so easy to come up with segments every week.
That's true. Segments are hard. So that actually is a good idea. We can redo it. When we eventually do Aliens versus Predator, we'll redo the whole segment.
Yeah. But, I disagree about Ridley Scott. You know that I disagree. You know that I like that guy.
You like Alien Covenant? You like that one?
Well, you won't know until we re-rank it.
I guess you're right.
My recollection is that I did not like it.
It's pretty poopy. But yeah. So yeah, put those at the bottom. That's a safe bet. Is that all those other non-mainline Alien movies are at the bottom of the rankings? But with that being said, I guess we're gonna take a quick break. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about Dr. X. So stick around.
Very nice. Very nice. We'll be right back.
3, 4, 7, 7, 4, 6, J, U, N, K. 3, 4, 7, 7, 4, 6, J, U, N, K.
You're always asking these fake questions.
Call the gab line. It's a party line.
16 years of fake questions.
Call now. It's a party line. Call now.
Yeah, I don't find it interesting at all.
3, 4, 7, 7, 4, 6, J, U, N, K.
Is that all, Doctor? Yes. Everything's set. Now go to the electric cabinet and do exactly as I told you. Throw on the color the moment you're ready.
Synthetic flesh. Synthetic flesh. Has it ever occurred to you that Wells is free to do as he pleases?
I've guarded against that also. Wells wishes to be treated the same as we are. Otto. Yes, sir. Bolt all the doors so that no one can get in. The rest you know. Yes, sir. Get the keys.
Synthetic flesh.
Now look here, Doctor. This is the sixth murder in the same number of months. All committed in the full of the moon with no apparent motive. By means of strangulation and an incision with a strange surgical knife.
You're implying that someone in my academy could have done this?
I'm convinced of it.
We are all under suspicion of murder.
Absurd.
Ridiculous. What English show thought that of? I'm the editor of the Daily World.
Then you did it.
Me?
It was you who printed that horrible story of father in this morning's paper.
Don't be afraid tonight. Be sure you keep your eyes closed and relax.
I'm laying $10 to a dime. It's another moon killer murder.
One of us may be a murderer. A murderer who kills with the light of a full moon, leaving his victim's body mutilated.
Synthetic flesh.
All right, welcome back to Junk Food Supper. The movie on the show tonight is going to be Dr. X from 1932, which I hope is hopefully a good way to kick off Schlocktober. Because I got to admit, man, we talk a big game on this show about Schlocktober and about spooky season being 2 months long. Prior to watching this movie, just a couple nights ago, I was still waiting to kick off my spooky season. So I don't know if you feel the same way, Bowman, but I could have used this entry point into the spooky season, and I'm glad that I selected it.
I do feel the same way. Yeah, I haven't really. I mean, yeah, I've been hanging out in the desert where it's 105 degrees, and it's 105 degrees here. So I really haven't felt super spooky so far this year. I feel like when you're living where we live, the spooky season kind of now starts like mid-November or something.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get into Halloween when it's 105 out.
Yeah, it creeps up on you before you know it. It's already, late October, baseball season's winding down, and it's almost Halloween, and you know what? You haven't been spooky enough. So thankfully, we did kick it off, here at the beginning of October. As we record, it's October 2nd, so I got my spooks on early enough, I guess, but next year I really am going to aim for that 2-month spooky season.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, this is Dr. X from 1932, directed by Michael Curtiz, who you might know from directing Casablanca and a million other classic movies. This one features a lead villainous role for actor Lionell Atwill, who you might remember as the inspector in Son of Frankenstein, and a whole bunch of other movies from the 1930s and 40s. This also features a supporting role for a pre-King Kong Fay Wray, which is kind of cool. And it was released by Warner Brothers, although it's not too unfamiliar in terms of vibes for somebody who's seen, like a Universal movie from this time period. Oh, and speaking of Warner Brothers, though, before we even get into it, I will say if you are going to watch Dr. X, make sure that you're seeing the recent Warner Archive Blu-ray release of the movie. It'll say at the front of the movie that it was restored by UCLA with funding from the George Lucas Foundation, I think. That's the version to watch. Otherwise you'll really be robbing yourself of a lot of pixels. But let's get into the plot of this. The basic idea is that there's been a string of grisly murders where women are being cannibalized on the streets of New York, sort of a New York Ripper, if you will. But they're calling him the Moon Killer based on the full moon being a common factor in the murders. So the police bring in a guy called Dr. Xavier, the aforementioned Dr. X, to examine the bodies. But then they pretty quickly reveal to him that they're not only interested in his professional medical opinion, but they've brought him in because they suspect that the murderer might be a member of his team, because this guy, Dr. X, runs this weird mad science type lab where they've got some specialized tools that I guess can sever flesh in a way that's very distinctive, such that the police are like, the murderer has to be from your school because of the tools used to commit these crimes. And so Dr. X is taken aback. He doesn't want to believe that one of his very own mad scientists could be the mad scientist doing these murders. And so this leads to kind of a fun closed room murder sort of a plot where we get one of those great scenes where it's, a bunch of people around a table and Lionel Atwill as Dr. X in his great voice is explaining that one of us must be the killer, and it actually kind of reminds me of a scene from the movie Clue when they do that. But I love those kinds of scenes. And it leads to a scene where they do a scientific blood test of all these suspects to try and determine which one of them is the killer. And that scene, I strongly believe, must have inspired that similar scene in John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very, very similar.
Yeah.
But it's a cool, very tense scene. And by the way, I just love that Dr. X has all of these creepazoids working for him, who each specialize in a separate weird area of science. Like there's one guy who's an expert in cannibalism. There's another guy that's an expert in phases of the moon, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of a lunar expert, there's also a wisecracking reporter poking around the scene of the laboratory. And also Dr. X's daughter, Joanne, played by Fay Wray. Anyhow, the first experiment scenes lead to, a situation where one of the guys is suddenly murdered when the lights go out. They're trying to figure out who's the murderer. Lights go out. Oh, shit, one of the suspects is now dead. I guess he wasn't the murderer, but I guess we can repeat this experiment, but we'll just handcuff everybody so that if the lights go out again, none of us can do the murdering. And certainly that will prevent any further murders, right? That's kind of their idea. Except, of course, at the very end of the movie, the monster appears and maybe does some more murders. I don't necessarily want to spoil it just yet, but we'll get there. Cool looking monster, I thought, and we can talk maybe about his design a little bit later. But that's the basic plot of this, sort of a locked room murder mystery kind of a thing with mad science elements and some monster makeup. And I guess maybe the most notable thing about this movie today is that it was shot in 2-strip Technicolor. There's only a handful of feature-length films that were shot in 2-strip Technicolor. It was a very expensive and kind of experimental process that predates, the more familiar 3-strip Technicolor that they would use for decades. This earlier version of color photography looks a bit different, and it's kind of has like a limited color palette that in a way I think actually contributes to the spooky air of this movie. there's all these pronounced greens. Like there's this green fog in all the scenes that are outdoors, like at nighttime. That kind of actually looks like the green fog in Vertigo, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But an interesting look. And, there's not a ton of movies that use this process. So if you want to see what it looks like, you don't have a whole lot of options. Not many horror movies, of course, were ever filmed with this process. And, even the few films that were filmed this way, a lot of them didn't survive. So it is a treat to get this kind of cool genre movie that also happens to have this kind of historical interest. There is actually one other example that is of note, I think, which is the year after this, in 1933, the same director, Michael Curtiz, got together with the same cast, Lionell Atwill and Fay Wray, and shot Mysteries of the Wax Museum, which is also really good and was also restored at the same time and put out on Blu-ray by Warner Archive. So if you like this, I recommend that one as well. But yeah, I think there's more to like here than just the color process. One thing I really liked about this movie is the little bits of comedy that get mixed into the horror and kind of thriller elements here. Just silly stuff, like early on, our hero reporter asks a policeman if he's got a cigarette, and the cop pulls out like a damp cigar from under his sweaty, leather cop cap. And it's, I don't know, a funny little moment. And it leads into a bit that will be recurring throughout the entire movie, where the reporter has a joy buzzer on his hand that he shakes hands with the cops and gives them a little joy buzz, which is pretty silly and pretty stupid, and maybe kind of speaks to the fact that this lead reporter guy is not nearly as funny as he might think he is. But even in that, I think there's something kind of charming about a hammy comedian guy in a movie like this, telling jokes and doing things that maybe land flat, but you kind of appreciate the effort. There's also a bit in this where one of these mad scientists hides a nudie mag inside of his big research book. I thought that was fun. There's a line in this where Dr. X defends one of his lab assistants by saying he couldn't be a murderer. This man has several journals of poems he's written. It seemed like a joke. I think that was meant to be funny.
Yeah.
And
I feel like if I was looking for a murderer, it would be the guy with the poems. Like, he'd
absolutely.
be the first on my list.
Yeah. If any of these guys, in this mad science lab exhibits any ounce of creativity, it's going to be of an evil bent, definitely read those poems and make up your own mind, I guess. But it's not going to be anything pretty in those poems, I don't think. But yeah, you also got Fay Wray in this, kind of razzing our reporter hero in fun and funny ways throughout the runtime. And I feel like that combo of horror and comedy is a bit ahead of its time in 1932. I don't really think of the early Universal horror movies, for instance, Frankenstein or Dracula, as being funny whatsoever. And I can't really think of earlier examples of horror movies than this that are funny. So I'm sure that there are a few, but still feels fairly ahead of its time. Also, it's fairly sleazy for its time. This is technically a pre-code movie, and that's how they're able to get away with the fact that they refer to cannibalism a whole lot in this. They refer to prostitution. They refer to rape. A lot of sleaze factor in this for an old 1930s movie. And also, speaking of ahead of its time, I feel like these mad science lab sets do kind of look ahead of their time, despite this being a movie from the 1930s that is, I think, maybe set in a slightly earlier time. Maybe it's set in the 30s. I couldn't tell if this was supposed to be maybe in the 1910s or something, but those mad science labs to me look like they're straight out of a 1950s movie. A lot of chrome and just kind of very fancy looking compared to like a mad science lab that you might see in something like a Frankenstein. So yeah, I think that this movie is ahead of its time. I think it's a fun watch. It's only 76 minutes long, which I guess is probably at least partially due to the expense and hassle of working with color film in 1932. And actually, color prints were still so expensive in 1932 that most audiences at the time saw this in black and white. The color prints were reserved for only a handful of the largest cities. And most people had to watch this in black and white, and horror being a low rent genre, even after color was commonplace, it would be decades before it was commonplace in horror. So again, to have this rare chance to have one of these grandpa movies be in color, I don't know, it thrills me, to know that this is even an option.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, is because I saw that smaller markets, as they say, got the black and white version of this, and I was wondering why that was. I was like, it can't cost any more just to project a movie in color. I was like, did you need like a certain kind of projector to project color? This doesn't make sense. But yeah, I guess that's why. Is that
just the prints.
The color prints are just more.
Yeah, they cost a lot more. And, especially at that time, but even today, prints, a full film print, of a full movie, even if it's 76 minutes, it's pricey. So it's a lot of film. So thankfully, Warner Archive has done a great job restoring this, and we can now all enjoy this movie as it was intended to be seen in its weird color palette that I think is kind of strangely spooky. But what did you think about Dr. X?
Well, I'd never heard of Dr. X, but I was intrigued after you told me about the colors of it. And I was like, how does that even work? Just 2 colors. That sounds crazy. But when you watch it, it's like, it doesn't feel like a limitation. Like it feels like a benefit, a feature, that there's only the 2 colors. Like it's really, they do a lot with just the greens and red tones that they have. Like it's really interesting. Yeah, it really adds like a lot of atmosphere. And also, like you said, it makes it feel more ahead of its time. And it also works because, like you said, I believe I believe it takes place in like the 30s. Anything from like 1900 to 1950 all kind of looks the same to me. I don't know. But I think it takes place in like whatever year it came out, which I feel is novel in itself for a horror movie, since horror movies are like at the time were so steeped in like, this takes place in, Eastern Europe in 1820. Like that's just how horror movies work. And so,
and I think also inherent in other horror movies that are not in color is that, while I like black and white movies, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to dismiss black and white movies. I do think there's something more immediate about watching a color movie. You don't have to like do that kind of suspension of disbelief sort of a thing where you're mentally jumping through a hoop of like, okay, these are people, but they happen to be rendered in grayscale. Like this is more like, oh yeah, I'm seeing these people. They look like people that I would recognize in my day-to-day life today. And like, it just doesn't seem so foreign or disconnected.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it also makes it feel, all the much more modern. Like, I think if you would have done this kind of coloring with like a Dracula, I don't think it would have worked as well, because maybe at the time it would have or something, but like looking back now in hindsight, like, those movies, need to kind of be black and white, like to kind of give off that gothic old timiness. But because this movie was, takes place in the year that it was made, like just having that color really just makes it, like you said, more immediate. And then also like kind of hammers home the idea that this is modern.
And not to mention the fact that green lasers just look cool on screen.
That they do. So the coloring's great for the most part. Some of the skin tones kind of have that like color added sort of like Ted Turner vibe to them a little bit. Like they don't look totally natural. And that might have been the makeup they were wearing. Like Fay Wray wears like a lot of blush and stuff, so that might be part of it. So it's not like totally successful, but as far as the atmosphere goes, it's like moi. Like they're just piping in all this like green smoke and like red light everywhere, and it's very nice to look at. So I would probably watch that Mysteries of the Wax Museum because of how much I liked just looking at this movie.
Nice. Yeah, it looks very similar. And if I'm being honest, I think I might slightly prefer Mysteries of the Wax Museum out of these two. But I thought you should probably watch this first, it being the first one to be released.
Understandable. Yeah. As for the movie itself, I do agree that like mixing horror with comedy is pretty novel. Like there was that one James Whale movie about
the Boris Karloff one, right?
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit after this, but it's certainly mixing. I mean, like that's even kind of different. Like that's sort of like madcap, like feels like a very British style of humor in that movie, where it's like I don't know, just like over the top, like silliness, like people doing silly voices and whatever. And this feels like a much more modern type of humor. Like it feels like a more like Hollywood screwball-y sort of Abbott and Costello sort of humor in this.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like this came out a few months before The Old Dark House.
Okay, so this guy's beating James Whale to the punch. It just feels, I mean, once again, like it makes a lot of the stuff feel really modern. Some of the humor didn't land for me. Like I thought like the journalist was kind of annoying, rather than funny at some points. But yeah, a lot of the humor's pretty fun.
What are you, a comedian?
Another thing that makes this feel modern is a lot of the editing. Like, there's a part where like, I forget exactly. It's near the beginning. Like somebody shows like their badge or something like that, or like shows their credentials, and it like they just like cut to like an insert shot of the guy pulling it out, which I feel like those kind of shots are pretty rare in movies from this early. A lot of the movies, especially the horror movies from the time, they just have a camera locked down and they just shoot it like a play, basically. So to see like those kind of cuts, and this was pretty novel. Where this movie kind of drags for me is that it's my least favorite genre. As you may know, Sean, people searching an old house by candlelight is my least favorite movie genre, and that's a lot of what this is people at that castle.
Walking down hallways as butlers take skeletons and like hold them out in front of themselves as they exit doors in a way that nobody ever would, so that the skeleton can be a little scary floating guy for a second.
Yeah. That's my least favorite. Like that blind lady in House on Haunted Hill who floats by, and then they explain it away by saying she was just blind. That's why she can float. She's not a ghost. My least favorite genre. So that's what a lot of this is in the middle. And
did it help matters at all that the spooky old house that they're like roaming the hallways of, I think, is a whorehouse?
That does help. Oh, yeah, a lot of that saucy pre-code stuff that you mentioned, that does help a lot. Like, I was shocked, like, that they even mentioned cannibalism. I was like, holy shit. Like, that seems like the kind of thing you weren't allowed to do until, like, Toby Hooper came along or something. Like, this is crazy. So I liked that kind of stuff. It also helps that, like, they're on the beach, and, like, that makes it feel more modern, too. Just the fact that, like, they take a break, like they leave that spooky old house, they go out to the beach, there's like a lot of sunshine in that one scene.
It's starting the long tradition of putting a little TNA in your horror flicks. You get to see Fay Wray's bathing costume.
We sure did.
Yeah, you have to imagine that was the primary reason for setting that scene on the beach, right? Doesn't make really much sense otherwise.
I think that's probably true. That must have been the sole reason.
Yeah, we got to see both of her ankles, I believe, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is fun, but I like the monster. We can talk about the monster's face.
Yeah, let's talk about the monster. Yeah, and I guess spoiler alert for Dr. X, you've heard by now that we both think you should see it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say see it. Definitely see it if you're interested in like the history of it and stuff like that. If you want like a scary movie that's good, I don't know, maybe skip it, but you should 100% see it if you enjoy the visuals of film as an art form. 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, and how many of those classic 1930s horror movies are actually scary, though? Like, probably none of them?
Invisible Man is scary.
Okay, fine. You got one out of
100. One
One
of them scary. Only one, but yeah, the rest of them not so much.
But that killer, the aforementioned Moon Killer, I guess, kind of a rubberman, kind of a rubbery man, right?
Yeah, he looks cool. He looks sort of like Mr. Hyde a little bit. Like I feel like that's maybe like one of the inspiration points. I mean, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde is like the mad scientist thing. And Frankenstein, obviously. So he has that kind of look like that. He's like sort of like Mr. Hyde / Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like he has like that kind of like disfigured face about him in that one scene.
The idea is one of these, creepazoids of the science lab has invented some sort of artificial flesh. And so, he's using that to cover his face and maybe enhance some other parts of his anatomy. Not in the way that you're thinking. I know what you're thinking when I say that. And basically, I don't know if it's implied that I don't think it is implied that makes him murderous. I think he's murderous because he needs real human flesh in order to make more of this fake flesh, I guess.
Yeah. Which is also pretty novel and modern because a lot of like the Universal horror stuff, like the Invisible Man, like a side effect of him taking the serum is that it drives him insane. Like he would otherwise be a nice normal guy. I feel like that pops up a lot of times in the Universal monsters things
they're just uncontrollable beasts, like a wolfman.
Yeah. So to have a horror villain that is just a bad guy, like he's
killing
knows what
for
he's
a
doing.
reason.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing is not. He can control it if he wanted to, but he's doing this on purpose. Like I feel like that's pretty ahead of his time.
Yeah, and it looks cool. I like this rubbery face that the guy has, at the end of the movie. And the one thing I will say is it's almost a hat on a hat where like, dude, before transformation, Artie was the creepiest looking of the bunch.
Yeah.
And maybe it would have been a better reveal if it was one of the less creepy guys turned out to be the psychopath. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Sort of like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Like we know he's going to be creepy,
Yeah. But I do like that guy in the role. I didn't write down the actor's name, and I don't know that I've seen him in anything else, but as a, wild-eyed mad scientist type guy, he was pretty convincing.
Yeah. And then in the end, the journalist is the hero and gets the girl. So that's cool. I respect that. I like those kind of movies. This movie looks great. Like I said, the actual movie, like if this was in black and white, I would probably not like this movie very much, but because it's so fun to look at, it's worth watching for sure.
Would you agree that Lionell Atwill has a wonderful voice for a mad scientist type character?
Yes, I would.
I could listen to that man speak about gizmos and gadgets all day long.
That's understandable.
Well, I guess that is our consensus on Dr. X, a movie that you should see because it looks great. And because, what horror movies from the 1930s are really all that good anyways, right? Outside of the historical significance.
I agree. Well, I got some stuff here for next week.
Yeah. Will it be spooky or will it be center of the earth related?
It's going to be center of the earth related. I'm just preemptively doing the one with the rock. I think we should jump right.
No. That's the only way that you could ever, disrupt my plan here. You know how that I don't like doing things out of order.
That's true.
Man, if you did that kind of a sneaky maneuver, it would all be over.
Well, maybe I might have to do that then. But I would never break the rules of Schlocktober and pick something that's not spooky.
Okay.
Those rules are paramount.
Even if there might be a spooky dinosaur down there by the center of the earth.
Well, now that you put it that way. I mean, those lizard men were pretty spooky.
Yeah. Not to mention that sex cult.
Yeah, that was spooky as well. But no, we'll have something firmly in the horror genre.
Yeah. As Dr. X was. I don't want you to imply otherwise.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Dr. X is certainly a horror movie. But I've got two movies from two different eras of horror. So I'll leave it up to you to decide, do you want to watch a very brand new movie from 2024? Or do you want to watch an old movie from 1971?
I'm going 71.
71. Then we will be watching Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. This is a Hammer horror movie about mummies, a sexy mummy. This is the fourth and final Hammer horror movie that features mummies.
Oh, okay. So it's a mummy I'd like to film.
Indeed so. Yeah, I hear this is like, I think firmly when Hammer was in their like saucy stage where they were making a lot of saucy, spicy, sexy horror movies. So I've not seen this one, but it looks good to me. And I like mummies.
The leads of all the Hammer films of this period were page 3 girls. Is that the right page? Yeah. I don't know what page. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Topless broads in the UK newspapers.
Mm-hmm. So that's it's. I think it's around. Let me see where it's at. It's on something called IndieFlix to stream. It's on Plex, and it's also rentable every place where you rent things.
Now, which 2024 bullet did I dodge, and does it feature Nick Cage?
No Nick Cage, actually. It was going to be I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh, I'm glad that I dodged that. I didn't like that director's first movie. That's the We're All Going to the World's Fair director,
yep.
Right?
Yeah, that is the one.
Yeah, okay. and I know that people like that stuff, so I don't want to rain on that parade. Leave that for the podcasts that enjoy that kind of a thing.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that one. I'm curious about it, but I'll watch it on my own time.
Okay.
So, and Blood from the Mummy's Tomb is probably a little bit more Halloween-y anyway, so that works.
We wouldn't want to be tricked into watching a movie where the true monster is depression.
That is absolutely true. I guarantee you, the true monster in Blood from the Mummy's Tomb is a monster.
Yeah. I mean, it might be a very rubbery, unconvincing monster. It could even be a man wearing just a roll of toilet paper around his body. But he will, canonically be a monster.
I think the monster is going to be a sexy lady.
Well, if the monster is unchecked horniness, then that's going to be a problem. Yeah.
So no werewolf movies then?
No. I mean, depending on how metaphorical they get,
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. I look forward to that. I look forward to whatever mystery movies Kevin Moss is going to cook up for our JFD towards the end of the month. And I guess there will be one or two other episodes in between all that for us to experience Schlocktober together this year. And again, I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it's high time I get spooked. Actually, you know what, Bowman?
Mm-hmm.
I'm laying out a challenge to you right now here at the beginning of Schlocktober.
Yeah.
Spook me.
Spook you?
Yeah. I want to be spooked this year.
Okay. Well, like I said, I haven't seen Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. So I can't. I mean, it's a Hammer horror movie. So those guys are usually pretty spooky. So I think you'll be spooked. But I also get another Schlocktober movie later this month. So that one, 100%, I will pick something intentionally spooky that I feel will spook you.
Okay. I'm ready for it, And I'm saying that now. It is possible that once you unleash the spooks, I might be running for the hills, with my tail between my legs. But As of right now, I'm proudly proclaiming, bring on the spook.
Okay. I'm into it.
All right, well, that'll be something to track on throughout this month. Monitor the progress of my spook level, and we'll be giving you updates on the regular for that. But in between now and then, you can do all of the things that we always tell you here at the end of the episodes. Check us out on the internet at junkfooddinner.com. That's where you get all the back episodes of this show and JFD. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/junkfooddinner. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on a bunch of platforms, the most important of which being Discord. Join us on our Discord. I don't even know how you get to it. I think you got to message me personally or maybe message Bowman personally. Or there might be a link if you go to junkfooddinner.com. I think on the left side of the page, there is probably a link to our Discord. Look for it. Click on it. Come party with us. It's a lot of fun in that Discord. Wouldn't you agree, Bowman?
I would definitely agree, yeah. I like being in there.
Would you agree that people are playing Music League in our Discord?
I would agree. Playing it slowly this round. Everybody's playing it pretty slow, but we are playing it in there. It's very fun still.
Man, people are just barely hanging on, surviving hurricanes, and you're calling out their slow rate of play. Peter from Portland, I'm sorry, man, that Bowman is so aggressive with his barbs directed at you.
I just think that even if there has been a flood and a hurricane, you can still vote. I mean, just, use 4G. Just vote for God's sake.
Man, this guy's running out of battery on his phone. His only lifeline to emergency services. He's got nowhere to plug it in and charge. But you want this guy to risk life and limb and the life of his closest family members by voting on Music League?
Well, when you put it like that.
I think he should, yeah.
Yeah, Music League's very important.
Yeah, it's important. Don't make us wait. No, just kidding about that. Peter, we see you. Hope you're doing well.
Yep.
And we see all the fools out there in Junk Food Dinnerland. And we hope to see y'all on Discord. But until next time, this is your friend Sen Biro for your other friend Perky Beantown Bowman saying, keep washing them dishes.
Hell yeah. I'm a lizard man. I'm a lizard man. I like it a great deal.